Hey everybody, welcome to Elder Geeks Elder Speak. I told you I was going to do more of these. I made a promise and I'm going to stick to it. My name is Randy. In the background today you're going to be seeing gameplay footage from Final Fantasy VII. I picked that up again and started kicking it around recently because I recently played this horror game called Stairs, and it was so bad that I started playing Final Fantasy VII as sort of this almost like video game mouthwash or video game eye bleach. You know, I just needed to get the bad out. Needed to get the bad out so I could feel normal again. It's not scary, and that's part of the problem with the game. But it's this indie horror game, Stairs, and I'm going to be doing the video review for it soon. So probably you're not going to be seeing the video tomorrow, probably the day after. But I guess for people watching this, here's your preview of the video review. It's not scary. It's boring. And it's glitchy. And I think those three things are kind of nails in the coffin, you know, for an indie horror game. And I really wanted it to be good. I saw a trailer for it not long ago, and I thought to myself, hey, that's going to be kind of cool, because it said in the trailer, like, based on true events. And I was sold. I was sold on that based on true events thing, because I'm a sucker for those things where they say it's based on true events. They're never based on true events, or like the one true thing that might have happened is so trivial it has nothing to do with anything else. But I was sold on the concept of this game, and I was very disappointed through and through. So video review for coming up. It's obviously going to be getting a Don't Bother. And like I said, I started playing Final Fantasy VII just so I could play something good. So I felt, you know, kind of good. I didn't want to go into writing that review because it would just been like a 3-page diatribe about how terrible the game is. I try to, you know, come at them from a rational point of view, you know, bringing up the good things and the bad things about the game, and then giving, you know, a fair assessment instead of just sitting there and like shaking my fist at the sun. So again, that video is coming up soon. Thanks everybody for watching the video on my video for my impressions on Heroes of Might and Magic 7, or Might and Magic 7 Heroes 7, Might and Magic Heroes 7, whatever it is. Thanks for watching that. Again, to reiterate, I'm not a Might and Magic, you know, fan. I've never really. Oh wait, no, I need to backtrack. In the video, I said I never played a Might and Magic video game before, and somebody had asked, "What about Dark Messiah?" And yes, you know what? I did play Dark Messiah, and Dark Messiah is an awesome game, or at least it was kind of an awesome game if you could get it to run. And that's actually one of those games that, like, every year I try to, like, fire it back up to see if it'll run this time, and it never does. But, so that was probably my intro to Might and Magic. I put, like, 20 hours into that preview, or before I made that video, into the game. Wasn't fully sold on it, but it's not a hot mess either. And that video got a ton of, you know, downvotes, and I'm sure it's because it's got a huge fan base. You know, people really love that series, and they don't want to hear anybody saying bad things about it. But at the same time, I really, really, really love, you know, games with knights and horses and armor and boards and swords and orcs and elves and magic and all that kind of fun stuff. And I really like strategy games, even though I'm terrible at strategy games. I really like them. So for those two things to kind of come together, and for me to have not tried a Might and Magic game until now, seems a little weird. But it's true, and you know, I'm kind of, like I said, I'm kind of kicking myself for not trying the series sooner. But so I put 20 hours into the game, didn't love it, didn't hate it. It's kind of there, it's solidly built. Yeah, so that's that. But anyway, kind of going back a little bit, and this will probably wrap up my video. I'll let people know about what videos I'm kind of kicking around making. Obviously, I'm making the next 25 games video, but I also try to do those feature videos every once in a while. And the next feature video that I had the idea to do, and it's obviously too late to do it by Halloween, was the different types of horror that exists, not just within video games, but also within film as well. And the reason why I kind of bring that up is because I had made a statement in the Soma video that Soma scared me more than Amnesia, and that's a true statement. Soma did scare me a lot more than Amnesia. And a lot of people are kind of coming forward now that they've played both games, and they're saying, well, Amnesia scared me more. And that is probably very true. Amnesia probably did scare them a lot more. But the two games are two very different types of horror. Even though they're made by the same developer, even though they use very similar game mechanics, and they even use like the same monster behavior types within the two, they're both very different horror type games. And I thought it would be really neat to break down the different types of horror, give proper examples of them within film and video games, because there's some tie over, and then kind of give examples for it. And I don't know, it might even be a decent roadmap for people who are trying to make horror games, people who try to make horror games and they end up kind of failing miserably. I feel like sometimes when I play horror video games, it's like people don't seem to. God, this sounds really pretentious, and I don't want to be coming across as sounding pretentious. But there are almost rules that horror follows, and sure, people do break those rules, and some people actually create new genres of horror. But if you stick to some basic rules, you're almost guaranteed to make at least a successful or a horror game that kind of makes sense, or a horror game that might reach a good, solid audience. So anyway, that was kind of a thought that I had. Anyway, that's it. Halloween is coming up, if you can believe it or not. I remember a couple of years ago I did those Friday night creature features for a charity marathon, which was a lot of fun. I really wish that I had the time and the ability to organize something like that again this year. Yeah, that's that. Thanks everybody for listening to me ramble for a little while. Like I said, next video coming up is going to be for the Stairs video review. It's getting a Don't Bother. And after that, I don't know. I gotta check the review schedule and see where I am. Sounds like somebody's coming into my office, but I don't see anybody there, which is totally cool and creepy at the same time. Perfect. All right, thanks everybody. See ya. This video is made possible through generous fan donations on Patreon.